Okay, so let's face it. In today's world, pretty much every company is getting blasted with a fire hose of data 24/7. You've got sales data, website clicks, inventory logs, customer feedback. It's just a constant flood. So the real question isn't just how do we collect all this stuff, it's how do we organize it so it actually makes sense? Let's dive in. It's a really weird paradox when you think about it. We have more information at our fingertips than at any point in human history, but for a lot of businesses, it just feels like noise. They have all the data in the world, but they can't seem to get a straight answer to a simple question. So what's going on here?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. They're trying to build something amazing without a plan. You would never, ever try to build a skyscraper without a detailed architectural blueprint, right? It'd be chaos. And it's the exact same thing with data. You can't build a useful, powerful data system without a solid data model. That blueprint is what turns the chaos into clarity.
All right, so to really get into the great debate at the heart of all this, we first need to make sure we're all speaking the same language. Let's think of data modeling like creating a blueprint, but at different levels of detail. So at the very top, you have the conceptual model. This is like the architect's first sketch on a napkin, right? It's the big picture view that the business folks can understand. Then you get more detailed with the logical model. Think of this as the detailed floor plan. It shows all the rooms and how they connect, but it doesn't say if the walls are made of brick or wood. Finally, you get to the physical model. This is the nitty-gritty construction plan for the builders. It specifies the exact database technology, the exact materials, how every single piece of data will actually be stored. And this quote brings us right to the heart of the conflict. This is from Bill Inmon, who's basically one of the godfathers of data warehousing. And when he said this, he was taking a very direct shot at his main rival, Ralph Kimball. This one sentence really kicked off a debate that has shaped the industry for decades about the one right way to build a data warehouse. So let's start with Inmon's side of the story. You can think of him as the top-down architect. His whole philosophy is about precision, foresight, and building this one perfect grand structure from the very beginning. Now, take a look at this diagram of his corporate information factory. You see how everything flows toward the center? Inman's idea is to take all that raw data and pull it into one giant central hub. This is the Enterprise Data Warehouse, or EDW, and this thing is super structured, what engineers call normalized, which is just a fancy way of saying there are no duplicates and everything is in its perfect place. This hub, this is the single source of truth for the entire company. So the most important thing to remember about Inmon's world is this. You build the one perfect central library first. That is your single source of truth. It's incredibly organized, super structured, all to make sure the data is consistent and trustworthy. Only after that huge foundation is in place do you start building out smaller, specialized data marts for departments like sales or marketing. The number one goal here is consistency across the entire company.
Okay, now let's completely flip the script and look at a totally different way of thinking. Enter Ralph Kimball, the bottom-up builder. He basically looked at Inman's grand plan and said, "That's beautiful, but it takes way too long. The business can't wait years for answers."
And you can see how different his approach is just by looking at this diagram. It's the complete opposite. Kimball famously said, "The data warehouse is nothing more than the union of all its data marts. There's no giant central hub that you have to build first. Instead, the warehouse just emerges, piece by piece." Kimball's whole approach is built for speed. It's about delivering value, fast. You start by solving a real problem for one team. Let's build a data mart for the sales department that's super fast and easy for them to use. Then we'll build one for the inventory team. The magic that holds it all together is something he called conformed dimensions. Think of it like a shared dictionary. We all agree up front what customer means and what product means. That way, the sales data can talk to the inventory data without any confusion down the road. All right, so let's put them head to head. You've got Inmon, he's top-down, centralized first. His goal is that perfect enterprise-wide consistency. The core of his world is the enterprise data warehouse. Then you have Kimball. He's bottom-up, departmental first. His goal is speed and getting usable data to the business folks like yesterday. His core unit is the data mart. One is built for enterprise stability, the other is built for departmental speed. For years, that was pretty much the whole debate. You were either in Camp Inmon or Camp Kimball. But what if there was a third way? A model that wasn't designed just for consistency or for speed, but for something else entirely. Relentless change and perfect auditability.
Well, say hello to the Data Vault. So the Data Vault model is more of a hybrid approach. It was created by a guy named Dan Lindstedt, and it was really born out of the chaos of the modern world, where you have messy, complicated data sources that are changing all the time. Its main goals are to be super flexible, super scalable, and, this is key, to create a perfect auditable history of every single piece of data that comes in. The Data Vault is actually built from 3 really simple building blocks. The first one is called a hub. A hub stores one thing and one thing only, a unique business key. Think customer ID, product SKU, employee number. These are the stable anchors of your business that don't change. They're like your core Lego bricks.
Okay, so you've got your Lego bricks. Next, you need links. And links do, well, exactly what they sound like. They connect the hubs. A link captures a transaction or a relationship. It's the piece that says this customer ID is connected to that order ID. It's the little connector piece that snaps your Lego bricks together. And finally, we get to the most powerful piece of the puzzle, the satellites. Satellites are what hold all the descriptive, juicy details, the stuff that actually changes over time. A customer's address, their name, their phone number. But here's the absolute killer feature. A satellite never overwrites old data. Every time something changes, it just adds a new row with a timestamp. This gives you a perfect, untouchable history of everything. And this right here shows you just how powerful that is. Take a look at customer 1001. We can see their original email address, but then on February 15th, a new record appears showing their email changed. The old one wasn't deleted. It's still there. Same thing for customer 1002, who moved from the US to Canada. You have a complete step-by-step audit trail, which for things like financial compliance or just historical analysis is an absolute game changer. So there you have it, the top-down architect, the bottom-up builder, and the agile historian. We've got 3 really powerful but very different blueprints. So the big question is, how on earth do you know which one is the right one for you? Well, it really becomes clear that there's no single best answer. It completely depends on what you're trying to do. If your number one non-negotiable priority is having a single bulletproof source of truth for the entire organization, then Inmon is probably your guy. If you need to get answers to the sales team this quarter, you're going to lean towards Kimball. And if you're living in a world with dozens of constantly changing data sources and you absolutely must have a perfect audit trail, then the Data Vault was literally designed for your problem. But of course, the real world is almost always messier than the textbook. Very, very few companies today are 100% pure Inmon or 100% pure Kimball. Most modern data systems are a pragmatic hybrid. They mix and match, taking the best ideas from all 3 approaches. You might use a data vault in the backend to handle all the messy integration, and then build easy-to-use Kimball-style data marts on top for the business users. At the end of the day, it's about using the right tool for the right job. And that kind of brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? We're heading into an era of incredibly powerful AI that can look at raw data and maybe even structure it on its own. So what does that mean for these blueprints? Will we still need human data architects to draw up the plans? Or will the complexity of our data world always require that guiding human hand to design the systems that let us make sense of it all? That's definitely something to think about.